For the last 24 years, I have been suffering with problems with my weight, and it's always been an issue. So, what I'm doing today is I am going to start a new diet plan. What I have tried before a few years ago. Well, I know if you continue repeating things over and over again, it's a sign of insanity. So, hopefully, this time there's no more repeating and it's just stick to it 100%. So I have doing the couch to 5k. Well, I've done it 3 times this week, and that's what the maximum they told me to do it for my size. Um, to be fair, if I probably asked the doctor, they probably say no, don't do that just now. But I want to get my fitness levels up a bit more, which I struggle to do due to my size. So what I'm going to do is start a diet, and the Weight Watchers, as everybody knows. And I think that if I can lose weight while doing the running and everything I need to do, I think I will see more progress quicker. Um, and I'm doing stuff, walking as well, some like weight training and stuff like that to make sure that I can maximize my potential of losing weight, and hopefully I can stick with it. If I feel like lack of motivation, I will step back a little tiny bit just to make sure or change my exercise up. Weight Watch diets is what this video is really about today. Well, basically, I've started from day one, and I'm 22 stone 1, which is actually higher than I was. For some reason, I know that it can fluctuate day by day. But last week I was at 2110, which I have put on a lot of weight since then, since I've done the running. So I don't know if it's either more appetite by doing more exercise or just just maybe the what weight, or could be, I don't know, have a clue. To be fair, I was called. I'm quite disappointed with that. So basically, what I was thinking about doing is the Weight Watchers I know that I can stick to, which is pretty easy, especially at the start, as the motivation is always high when you first start a diet. But what I am thinking of doing is basically doing something that both, if you know what I mean. So I apologise that I'm lack of sleep, and I've just came back from a run as well, so it's not really the greatest time for me to do this. So basically, the day one, I had my breakfast as normal, which is probably not the healthiest breakfast to have, like cereal. I had Cocoa Pops. I don't know if you know what that is, but most of these probably know. Which in Weight Watchers is pretty easy to eat as much as you want in a long way. Um, that you can let have pizzas. To be fair, most of you probably know what Weight Watchers actually does, and what it is. But one of probably the most famous, other than like Slimming World and stuff like that. Um, but I think that, what's it called? If you ever want to try to lose weight, I think Weight Watchers is probably the best. For me, it's always motivation. Like losing weight part is the motivation for the time being, when like the first month to 2 months. What what a lot of people don't understand is it's the consistency of it, and that's what you don't really see a lot on YouTube. You see a lot of these people with who are naturally, I wouldn't say naturally skinny, but or they're skinny fat, if you know what I mean. So like they're maybe a stone overweight, but they're not like genetically fat, if you know what I mean. Like I was like born to be fat, and I was born to be just. And I know a lot of people say, no, you're not. You could do things about it. Yes, I can. But then there's a lot of people in my situation that eat well less than I do, but physically are skinny as this pencil, a pen. Um, so basically, what I'm going to do anyway, I go sidetrack there, is write down of everything I eat every single day, and I get 54 weekly points, but it does say 61 on this, but I know that's a bit too high for me, especially with a lot of the points. So I'm actually going to cut it down to myself to 54, which makes it much easier for me, because I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to have to force feed extra food into me that I don't really want, and because of including the weekly points, it's too much for me, I think, and that's for some of my size saying that. So Basically, the cereal and milk. I'm like 30 grams of Cocoa Pops each day. Was it called with half a pint? Oh no, it's a quarter pint of milk, and it's like 10 points. So that's what I calculate it as. Um, but I've used the Weight Watchers app and it's 9. So um, but I just want to make sure that I'm off by a wee bit or not. What's it called? I do weigh my food and stuff. With my lunch, I had 2 wraps, which a lot of diets you probably couldn't actually have wraps unless it's the PB2s or the extra like thin ass ones that basically maybe like that thin. You know what I mean? I had mayo, which it's not the healthiest thing again, but it's got with tuna, which is it's got the 28 grams of protein. It's got the wee little tubs that you get from what's it called a lot of the shops like Asda, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, all that kind of things. Which is actually that was, and I added a wee bit of 30 grams of it's called British light, not British Great Light Cheese or something. It's called. Well, it's I don't taste any difference between the normal cheese and that cheese. So like I mean, it does wonders for the amount of calories it is, and it's only altogether that was like 15 points for that for 2 wraps, and so that's like a total of 25 points. Is like almost half of my daily points there just for my lunch, and my dinner. Which I had my dinner, but I had less than I thought I did. I think it's because I've never really been a big eater naturally anyway. Most of my calories came from bread, well, sandwiches in general. I think I've never been like one of these persons that goes to McDonald's, Chippies, or takeaways. That's what a chippy is. I apologise for people who are not from here. Um, Basically, it was called. I don't eat any fried foods or anything like that. I'm never really interested in McDonald's. Never really been interested in that. And if I ever get a takeaway, it's normally a baked potato maximum. And that's what's really quite agitating for me because you do see a lot of people my size like scoffing their face and enjoying life while I'm eating not the healthiest things, but not like the crazy unhealthiest things. But yeah, for my dinner I had I had 200 grams of potatoes, but I'm sure I had 100 grams, so I might have been made a mistake there. So it must have been 200 grams. And 2 bird's eye chicken breasts. The barbecue ones, they are phenomenal. To be fair, like you can have all that no problems. I was thinking about having beans, which I have a tin of beans of Heinz, which is 5 points, which is not bad. But the amount of beans that I waste in my house is actually ridiculous. Because I don't like having things opened or in a container like that. I like to have things that physically came from the packet itself, not what I stored away. More of a picky ear for someone there. So, like, to be fair, like altogether, I had probably about 40 points. So I'm actually less, and then I had to have a bowl of cereal, for like my like, classes supper wise. Um, so to make sure that I had some points, that's exactly what I was saying. With the 60, I think it was 60 points to send or something. Because I knew that it was going to be too much for me specifically. Maybe for a treat day or whenever I fancy something, I'm happy to use my weekly points. Um, and you get 40 weekly points each week, which that's totally fine. I'm happy to have that. Um, and what I normally just maybe keep 10 points away from that just in case I miscalculate something or I forget. Most of the time I do write things down, but I do forget occasionally, was it called, to write something down and I forget what I bet. And then I think, okay, well, I'm not anything. Um, so basically, apologies, this video is not the 100% certainty thing. I wasn't 100% like on what to do, what to say, how I started everything, but most of the next videos that I'm going to post, it's going to be more, I'm going to read more about it and be a bit more precise on what I'm saying. So hopefully I'm going to do it every week, and see how much I can lose. I understand that the first maybe couple of weeks or so I'm going to lose a lot of water weight from my body and stuff. It's not going to be properly fast. So hopefully in the first month that I'm 22 stone now, I'm happy to get to at least for the first month maybe 21 stone 5 minimum, something like around about that. But I think that's quite a decent. That's about £10, so I think that's a decent amount of weight for the first month of our diet. Especially for probably the first week, you probably lose 3 or 4 pounds or so. Because I'm doing my exercise, so I'm not just lying about and doing nothing. So hopefully, if I could do that and I can stick to that, it might make my running bits easier, be healthier for me in general, and better for my joints and knees and stuff. so don't get any injuries. So yeah, that's basically the video today. It was called. I just wanted to share my things with you or myself as well, for to remind me and keep myself focused on doing what I need to do, and not um, this feels like more of a I have to put it out there in a sense, and if I don't, then people know I failed, which means I'm a failure, which means that's not a good idea. So it might motivate me that way to consistently do more videos and consistently do my diet and running at the same time. So basically that's the end of the video here, was called, and I will do another video at the end of the week to see how it went, or like to tell you what my thoughts were, to see what the hardest part was and how easy it was, how affordable, and everything about it. This is from like a point of view from a man who's quite like really big, that's got bigger chest than most women out there are like. But I'll catch you guys, was it called, next week, and was it called, and I'll see you then.